Hello everyone, welcome to Helmer's Movie Mania Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Helmer, bringing you more cinema-related content. Today we have another episode of Cinema Wars, where civility and manner is thrown out the window. It is not a conversation about film, nor is it a debate about film. It is a fight about film. Now let me get you to my two other contestants. First he is a student at Wilson High School, not university, and a comic book enthusiast. This is Guy Knoll. Guy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. And with me, as always, he is my co-host. He is a film major at Occidental, a writer for Clapper, and a former written content editor for the Wilson Beacon. It is Alex Holmes. Holmes, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. It's good to be here, Helmer.
Good having you. And before we get to our topics for this edition of CINEMAWARS, let me just get you over to our special guest. He is the writer and director of the upcoming film Spider-Man Lotus. Gavin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. So I was just going to ask you a few questions about your upcoming film. So you guys watching who haven't known, Gavin, kind of explain what this Spider-Man Lotus film is about and what stage you're on right now currently.
Right. So this is a film that has been in production for about 2 years now. I've been working on it tirelessly. It's kind of a character study of Peter Parker, something we don't really see nowadays because I felt like the character's kind of been missing in the recent years. So I wanted to kind of delve into his psychology, what makes the character work, what makes the character appealing to audiences. So the story takes place after Gwen Stacy's death. Peter Parker feels directly responsible for it, and he's kind of in a terrible period of his life. He feels like he's failed everyone. He feels like Spider-Man is kind of a burden, and it kind of affects everyone negatively. So throughout the film, he's kind of dealing with this contemplation of whether he should give up Spider-Man if it was ever worth it in the first place. And he's met by this news that a terminally ill child who has kind of been a fan of Spider-Man his entire life has requested to meet him before the terminal illness kind of takes his life. So Peter Parker makes the decision to put on the costume one last time and comfort this kid before he dies.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I've been anticipating this film I've been following your page for a long time. I can't even remember when I started, but I've been super interested in this film since you first announced it, because it's like you said, it's character study, and maybe it's a blessing in disguise that you don't have, the millions of dollars that Disney has to right, to finance the films, and so you can focus more on the writing and the writing of the character, which we don't see from Peter Parker, especially in all the films. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. Can you tell us a bit about where you are with the shooting of the film?
Yeah. So right now we're kind of entering the end of pre-production. So the script we're just kind of polishing it right now, finishing that up. With the funding open, we're kind of waiting to see how much we reach, because we have a few different versions of the movie right now, to where if we get 10,000, we'll do this version of the film. If we get 15,000, we'll do this version. So by the time funding closes, which will be late February, we'll be able to figure out, okay, where's this money going? What can we spend? And then we'll probably start shooting in late March or early April.
Mm-hmm. And so how is COVID kind of impacting your shooting of the film?
So originally, of course, we weren't planning on COVID happening. So we had to pay attention to the precautions. We're going to be doing a COVID test for the entire crew and the entire cast before we start shooting. Each morning, the temperatures will be taken on everyone, making sure everyone's good. Everyone will be masked and distanced, even the actors, unless they're on camera.
Yeah, I definitely cannot wait for this one. I'm a big character study movie type person. Like, for example, I know a lot of people don't like Joker, but I love that film specifically because it's a character study, and we haven't gotten that from Peter Parker, or even characters similar to him in the sense of different heroes in DC or Marvel. So,
I love Joker. Joker did a really good job with what they were doing.
Can you tell us a bit about the cast that you have kind of announced so far? Because I know you have a recent addition to the cast that you announced just yesterday.
Yeah. All right. So Warden, he's playing Spider-Man. I've known him for years now, probably back in, I think, 2017. And he has been a huge part of this project. He's put his own money in. He's helped me with the script. We've kind of worked together on making sure the dialogue is smooth and it's kind of it's all natural. He's a fantastic actor. People have been wanting him, like, in the comic community or in the film community, the small group we have, they've been wanting him as Spider-Man for a long time now. And then we were like, okay, let's do it. Let's, you'll be Spider-Man. So he's been practicing his dialogue, his delivery. We're going to make sure like his performance is as good as it can be. And then so recently announced we got Shaun Wythe as Harry Osborn. And let me tell you, this dude really, really cares about acting. Like he works tirelessly every day to make sure that he can capture the characters that he's being cast as. And I think he's going to go a lot of places. He's going to kill it as Harry Osborn, especially because we're delving into the drug addiction aspects of the character. So he's going to really like push himself in this role, and I'm really excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I'm even every time you explain more about the film, the more excited I get, because again, you rarely get a superhero film that delves into concepts like complicated subjects like drug addiction.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're willing to take that on, I mean, you have guts, man. That I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And so before we let you go, Gavin, where can everyone find you? How can people, read about the film? How can people fund the film if they like?
So if honestly, you can look up the title Spider-Man Lotus on Google, and it'll come up on IMDb. It'll be on the Indiegogo website. And if you want to get more information about the film, my Instagram is DJK Central, and I have a lot of posts kind of going in depth on our goals and what we want to do. If you're not kind of convinced to donate yet, if you want more information, it'll be on my page.
All right. And thank you, Gavin. Thank you again for coming onto the show today. Now, before I let you go, one question that goes into our CINEMAWARS segment: Spider-Man or Wonder Woman? Who wins in a fight?
I gotta say,
putting you on the spot here.
I gotta say Wonder Woman. Honestly, I do think she's more powerful.
Sorry, I put you on the spot here.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you again,
guys.
Gavin. Can't wait for the film.
Thank you.
See you. All right, so that was Gavin Konop, everybody. Again, he told you about the information for his upcoming film as well as his Instagram account, so that will all be in the link below. So let's get over to our CINEMAWARS segment, but before we do that, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified on all our latest cinema-related content. So like I said, today is going to be another episode of CINEMAWARS. It's going to be a different type of CINEMAWARS episode. I promise you guys you get more comic book content after the video we did with Legion of Geeks did very well. So today, that's what we're going to be giving you, but in the form of a CINEMAWARS segment. So kind of the best of both worlds. So what this CINEMAWARS segment is going to be about, we're going to discuss various fictional character matchups, and we're going to discuss who wins in said matchups. So the first matchup we have, it is... let's start off on a complicated one. This one I had a tough one on, but Holmes, I'll start with you. Who do you think wins?
I don't know. This is a really tough one. They're kind of so similar. I mean, they have the exact same.
Really? I don't know about that one.
I mean, maybe Green Arrow. Like I'll say Green Arrow just because I know him, from the show and stuff. So I've seen more of his backstory and like he has other skills. Maybe he's probably better at hand-to-hand combat. I don't know. Actually, that's probably a lie. And Hawkeye's really good too.
So in said fight, what do you think the fight would look like? How do you think? I feel like it would end with hand-to-hand. I feel like it's not just going to be two guys just like shooting arrows at each other for 20 minutes. I feel like it would end in a hand-to-hand style fight. So, and you said Green Arrow would win in that type of fight?
I think maybe. I think I've seen more hand-to-hand fighting from him, at least on like the Arrow show, because Hawkeye's not like a major part of the MCU. So,
Guy, what do you think?
God, are we talking movies or comics?
Let's combine the two.
So I'm gonna combine. All right, yeah. So I would say Green Arrow. And the reason why, and you're right, it would go to hand because they'd run out of arrows. That's true. I'm out of arrows. No, but it would have to be Green Arrow because Green Arrow he was stuck on that island for like a few years. He trained, and and that's also from the comics. And I also just think he has the means and the resources. He has the wealth with Queen Industries where he could totally kick Hawkeye's butt and would totally like destroy him. Also, Hawkeye is kind of a joke.
in defense of Hawkeye, because I feel like we're not giving Hawkeye the respect he deserves.
No,
He
we're
did get a
not.
bit of train. His best friend was Black Widow, and so she trained him, and he worked for Shield. So that gives him. But again, I'm going with Green Arrow as well. So that's 3 for 3. Green Arrow wins this fight. It's close, but again, I feel like it would be a matchup of, like Guy said, who loses arrows first, and if they both do, it's going to go to hand, and like you said, Green Arrow I think has the edge in that department. So let's get over to our second matchup. So we already have one verdict on the Spider-Man versus Wonder Woman fight. Gavin, surprisingly, he betrays the character in which he's writing a film for, and he says Wonder Woman would beat Spider-Man, and he's right, in my opinion. I actually don't think this is even close. I think this fight is done in like 5 minutes, honestly. And because I don't feel Spider-Man, I feel like the only way the fight could last longer is if he continually runs away and try to, I don't know, web away, something like that. Because Wonder Woman has this down. She's a lot smarter than him, and that was the X factor for me. She's so much smarter. She's older. She's wiser. So, I mean, Spider-Man's just a kid. Even when you take Spider-Man who's experienced, like in Spider-Man PS4, I don't think it's particularly close either, because Wonder Woman is so much stronger.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one. I mean, I think Spider-Man, it's going to be one of those fights where he can last a long time. I think he'll dodge a lot of attacks, and in like the war of attrition, he'll last a good while because he's just so agile, and obviously he's can get around a lot easier than Wonder Woman. But in the end, I mean, they're going to have to do hand-to-hand at one point. Like, he's going to have to come in close, and he's just not as strong as Wonder Woman in any sense. Honestly, the sword, Wonder Woman, if she has her sword.
So I feel like he'd able to disarm her and take away the shield and the sword pretty quickly. But I mean, again, the shield and the sword, those are more mere mortal weapons. They're not. So I feel like they wouldn't really play that big of a role in the grand scheme of things. Guy, what do you think?
So when I first read this matchup, I thought of that scene in Avengers Endgame when he's holding the Infinity Gauntlet and he's kind of like all in the little crawl space, and then all of a sudden Captain Marvel just flies down and is just so much more powerful than him. And I was like, oh shit, that's just Wonder Woman. That's like, and I was thinking also the other thing is she's the she would kick his ass in a fight. She's Wonder Woman. She can fly. She has super strength. She is a god. Spider-Man would be the Hawkeye in that situation. No, I know I'm digging on Hawkeye a lot today, but
damn, this is rough. So everyone watching, please let us know in the comments below. Who do you think would win, Spider-Man or Wonder Woman? And as for our previous matchup, I know everyone's going to go with Green Arrow as well. I can't see anyone going for Hawkeye at this point, even if they're a Hawkeye fan to begin with. I think we've kind of soured everyone on Hawkeye at this point. So let's get to our next matchup.
Yeah, this is Dr. Fate. I mean, are you kidding me? He has the amulet of Anubis. And also Dr. Fate is immortal, in theory, because his consciousness can carry on in the helmet, which is why, like, he would totally kick Doctor Strange's ass. I don't care. He's Dr. Fate, and he's, even his cloak. One of the powers of his cloak, I was really looking into this, is actually immortality.
I think Dr. Fate is going to win out in the end. Like I said, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat immortality, especially with, you get the cloak and the consciousness thing. I guess Doctor Strange could try and do, he used the Eye of Agamotto to do some, I don't know, time bending sort of stuff, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to actually pull it off, especially if Fate, gets the upper hand initially. And I think Fate's also a little bit more wiser, a little bit more experienced. He's kind of more omniscient, I feel like, of a character. He's more of he feels more godly to me, at least. He feels like he's kind of above everything. And so he kind of...
That is exactly why I'm edging towards Doctor Strange right here. It's because of Dr. Fate's his cockiness, his godliness. And I think that whatever comes off first, Dr. Fate's helmet or Doctor Strange's necklace, whatever comes off first, the winner will be decided. Because we all know when the helmet comes off, Dr. Fate is just a regular guy. Depending on
he's 90 years old. Because
depending on which variation.
Depending on which variation, but the classic Kent Nelson one was born in 1927. So
obviously,
pretty old.
So obviously, what's going to come off, the helmet or the necklace? So obviously, if we're going by the MCU, Thanos was able to take off the necklace pretty handily. But
Yeah.
that's Thanos. I think I'm gonna edge towards Dr. Fate just because of I feel like he has a bigger upside, but I also feel like things could go really bad if things start going bad for Doctor Strange in that fight, and then Dr. Fate gets kind of cocky, and Doctor Strange pulls a I don't know, like an Arya in Game of Thrones. And let's go over to our fourth matchup. And our fourth matchup is, I kind of decided to pull a fast one on you guys. I mean, I didn't say that this one would be in the list, but I decided we needed a villain on villain fight.
Yes.
So I had to go for the big guy.
Oh,
Darkseid versus Thanos. Now, does Thanos have the
have an
Infinity Gauntlet? If he does, how many stones does he have? This is a fictional fight, so what happens? So let me first say, I think we're all in agreement. If Thanos doesn't have the Infinity Gauntlet, he gets destroyed easily, especially with Darkseid's Omega Beams. I think we all think, right? Or is it closer?
yeah, I agree with that. The Omega, yeah.
Yeah. So, say if he has one stone, would it be closer? Holmes, what do you think? And obviously, it would depend on which stone, but
Yeah. There's just so many variables in this, like which stone, like if he like how many stones, I don't know. But with one stone, I mean, it would definitely be closer. But I still think, well, actually, I guess it would depend on which stone it was. Maybe if it was like the reality altering one, then the Omega Beams.
which one's the most powerful? Is it the? I don't know the names. Okay, Guy, what do you think?
So I actually just thought you just gave me a brilliant idea of how Thanos could totally kick Darkseid's butt. Is essentially the Reality Stone. Darkseid's the desire he has the most is getting the anti-life equation, and Thanos would be like, "Look, here it is," and then just like Darkseid's like, oh,
but is Darkseid too smart? I feel like Darkseid, you're kind of underestimating his intellect. Because
no, you're right. But like the thing about the Reality Stone is that it is really tricky. I mean, I'm not really much in the know with Infinity Stones, but I feel that the Reality Stone and the Time Stone.
Because we kind of got a sense of how powerful the Reality Stone was in Infinity War when they tried to use it on Thanos, but now we're left guessing if Star-Lord didn't punch Thanos out of nowhere, would Thanos have kind of broken out of that spell? And if he would have, that would have proved us wrong. The Reality Stone isn't as powerful as we think.
Yeah. Also, would the Reality Stone enable him to kind of avoid the Omega Beams? That's what my question is, because if he can't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But like he could also he could also use the Time Stone with an Omega Beam and just reverse it right back into his face, just like I mean, I could, because here's the thing: the Time Stone, from the way I've seen it, it actually can like pretty much reverse it really is reversing things, and I think that could happen. Though I would say, when it comes down to it, if Thanos does not have the Infinity Gauntlet, he's screwed.
Holmes?
I'm gonna go Darkseid too. I mean,
I'll go Darkseid without the Gauntlet, but with the Gauntlet, I still think with at least one stone, with two, I think it's Thanos. No matter which stones they are.
Definitely, because he can wipe out like a tenth of the universe with two stones.
Yeah.
So if he could do that, then.
So let's get over to our finale, and I saved this one for last because it is the best. It's my favorite one, and it's of course.
Oh, I read this one. I remember I read this one. I've seen this in my brain before, and I would think that Batman would win. I think while Captain America is cool, he's not as smart as Batman. And Batman always thinks like 3 steps ahead of his enemies. So I really do think that he could totally like just dismantle Captain America in like 5 minutes. So I mean, if he could take down Superman, which he has, and if he has taken down the entire Justice League in a run.
Tower of Babel.
Yeah. And so I do believe Batman would kick Captain America's ass.
Yeah, this one seems like it would be the toughest decision. I mean, I love both characters a lot. Like, Batman's probably my favorite DC character. Captain America's probably my favorite Marvel character. And, this is probably the most hyped of all the matchups. But it was honestly the easiest for me. Like, right away, it's Batman. It's no question at all. I mean, I wouldn't even know how the fight would play out just because I don't know what Batman's thinking. And like I said, he's so many steps ahead of all of his opponents every time. Like, I don't even know what he would how he would beat Captain America, but I just know he would do it. I have complete faith in him. I mean, yeah, like you said, Superman, if he can go up against the whole Justice League, like Captain America is a piece of cake. Like, he's strong, but I mean, Batman faces strong villains all the time. He faces Bane. He can kick his ass. I think he can definitely take down Captain America pretty easily.
Yeah, and I'm gonna agree with what Holmes said. Yeah, this one is actually pretty easy for me. Like, in concept, when you think about it, you're like, oh wow, that's an amazing fight. But again, when you go to the Tower of Babel run, Batman just dismantled the entire Justice League. He had a secret kind of a plan of how to take care of each of them individually.
In Endgame too.
Yeah, and so it's pretty easy for me then. I mean, if he can take down, like I said, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, and I mean, it's just Batman's the smartest character in all of comics. So it's just like an intellect always wins.
Holmes made a really good point in that Bane is pretty much a super soldier. He is full of these drugs, like Captain America is. And if Batman could take him down,
okay,
that's essentially the same thing. So I just was like, man.
But how does Batman take care of Bane most of the time? It's taking.
Oh yeah, he snips his tubes.
So
he snips his tubes.
Can't. If Batman weren't able to snip the tube, as Guy labels it, snips the tubes of Bane. Does Bane take care of Batman most of the time?
That is a fair point, but Captain America isn't 3 times the size. Yeah. He isn't Hulk size.
Wait, whoa! Are you trying to make the argument that Bane is stronger than Captain America?
Well, no, I'm not making that. Target, I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Bane is bigger.
But bigger. He's also slower.
No, he's slower. No, I'm not.
If you take into account the fact that he's big, you have to take into account the fact that he's slow.
That is true. He is.
I mean, Bane's also extremely smart. He's smart. Yeah. He might be smarter than Captain America.
Well, yeah, but I do think Captain America could take down Bane. I'm just thinking when it comes to it, Bane is pretty much the Santa Prisca super soldier, and Captain America
with the tube though. Again,
with the tubes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The tubes are big.
Like Doctor for his helmet and Doctor Strange.
Well, wait. Hold on. I got something for you. So Tom King's newest Batman Rebirth run, Bane did not use the tubes, did not use Venom.
Oh yeah, I know. Okay. It was pretty much 50-50. Bane took care of Batman a lot. Batman was able to come back like he always does, but Bane took care of returns. I mean, Bane was so strong in the Tom King run that he basically sat on his throne naked. Bane also has revenge and anger.
Yeah, that's true. He's kind of got a vengeful strike.
So that makes him a lot more dangerous.
Yeah.
Like Captain America, though, he has the he's more like he's got the grit kind of.
He's got the dedication, the true.
He's gonna keep going until like he's not gonna. Give
up. Is true. He's like he never stops fighting. Like if you he's I can do this all day.
I mean, he almost lost to Bucky, so
yeah.
And Bucky's also super soldier. Now, does Bucky beat Bane in a fight?
Ooh,
I don't know.
But the metal arm.
Matchup that we're gonna
are we counting metal arms? We have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah. For everyone watching, I'll make a little graphic. So we have Batman and then the little arrow. Captain America or Bane? What are we going for here?
Let's just go Captain America. Let's just go back to the argument.
I feel like if Bane can take care of all 3 Robins, shouldn't he be able to go after Bucky? But
Bucky's also a super soldier with a metal arm, and I'm
gonna go Bane here. I'm gonna put my vote up for Bane.
Yeah, that
anybody?
Yeah. I mean, I'd vote Bane. I think because Bane's smarter for one. I mean, from what I've read of Winter Soldier, he's tactically smart, but Bane's a master strategist. He knows how to take down like look at how he broke the Bat in Nightfall. He essentially broke out all of Batman's villains, tired him out, and then when he came to his house like, sup.
The metal arm is important, but also how important is it when you're going up against someone as strong as Bane? It's not like it's gonna break his flesh or something like that.
Okay. Iron Man was able to take off Bucky's arm though.
I remember that with the.
So if Iron Man, I feel like Bane could take it off easily. But again, Bucky's faster. Bane has his.
That's why I don't like the Arkham versions of Bane because they make him so dumb.
Exactly. I agree.
So wrong. Because like Bane, and that's why I like Dark Knight Rises. is because they focus on his intellect
I agree.
more than
until
his
the end, until the end
strength.
of the until the end of the movie.
Until the end of the movie, when
glorified
he's a
henchman.
hulking idiot and he gets shot by the bat cycle, and you're all like, "That's how he dies." Like this guy was like this emotional
I call him a glorified henchman in that movie because that's
he is. He really is. It reminded me of, for some reason, of the Mandarin twist. Because you're like, well, that's just so disappointing.
Everyone in the comments below, please tell us who you think would win in a fight between all the matchups that I stated and that we've discussed. So, Guy, where can everyone find you?
You can find me. I actually have a Lego account where I make figures of a lot of these characters. Addict_LegoFigs, or you can find me on my regular Instagram, g.david.knoll. So please find me. Yes, you guys have fun. Enjoy this, like this, and subscribe.
It's hard to say goodbye sometimes, Guy, but
exactly.
Holmes, where can everyone find you?
Just on Letterboxd at AJKH34. Yeah.
If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified on all our latest cinema-related content. We will have more CINEMAWARS content coming your way very soon. This is Alex signing off. Ciao.